My name is Ayaba Ayo-Joseph, and as I said, we've known each other for over 40 years. In fact, pushing 45. I was a banker for 27 years. I've retired from banking, and I don't own a business as such. I have my fingers in many pots. I manufacture school uniforms. It was my mother's business, and I'm continuing it. I am a resource person for training. If you're training in various areas, I'm a resource person for that. And then I also do property management. I'm the eldest child of my parents, and all my siblings live abroad. So I have been entrusted with managing family assets in Nigeria and ensuring that everybody is kept happy, body, bright. Hey, today I'm going to speak to you about constantly learning, and I'm going to use myself as an example. As I've told you, I worked as a banker for 27 years, core banking. I did not study banking. I studied law, and I went through all the processes in the Nigerian Law School. I even did a master's in shipping law, and then after my National Service Corps, I said I do not wish to practice law, and I decided to go and work in a bank. Which one is it? The black or the? Okay. This it's a figurehead, and the head is having very many thoughts. All sorts of things are going through it. You know, when you're born, you can't really do anything. You don't know much about life. You smile, but as you grow older, you're learning various things. I'm going to ask you a question. Can anybody tell me what they think learning is? No? Okay. What is learning? Learning is...
Sorry. You want to... It's the heart of gaining learning. It starts from the birth and it ends at grave, cradle to grave.
Okay. So, I've put it up there for you. It's the act of gaining knowledge or skill through instruction, scholarship, or experience. Knowledge is not just going to school. Knowledge is listening to me. Knowledge is listening to the radio, watching TV, watching various people do various things. You learn. It's a continuous process, as she said. It starts at birth and it continues to death. And whatever we experience or whatever we read, it affects us in one way or another. As we can put here, there is no end to education. It is not that you read a book, pass an examination, and finish with education. The whole of life, from the moment you are born to the moment you die, is the process of learning. Okay? Learning occurs when we are able to understand. We see many things. We know that the sun rises in the morning and that moon is up there and comes down. But when we first saw it happening, we didn't know that was the beginning of day. We learned it. We began to understand that is the beginning of day. So learning is when you gain a mental and physical grasp of the subject or whatever you are trying to learn. Make sense of the subject or the feeling and interpret it in your own words and actions. You use your newly acquired skill in conjunction with those you already possess. Types of learning. Now, I'm going to say that most people tend to think about learning as being in the classroom. Classroom learning means when you are in kindergarten, when you are in nursery school, when you are in college, when you you're in university, or even when you go to a seminar organized by a place of work, if you're employed, or if you go to continuing education, it's called formal education. The education you get from interacting with people, playing games, watching television, reading the newspaper, reading a book is informal education. Most people, as I said, think of learning as to do with formal education, but learning also involves informal education. Informal education gives us more opportunities to learn because it's more widespread, it's continuous. We are not always in classrooms, we are not always learning public, we are always being taught. Okay. And here, I'm just giving you a little image of learning and of places you can learn from. You can learn from life, you can learn from love with your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend. You learn things from them. You can learn from when you travel to different countries. You can learn from the websites you go on. You can learn from conventions, depending on which area of expertise you are in. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry. You can learn from conventions. You can learn from if you have being coached, that maybe like you have a lesson teacher, or you have coaching and mentoring, books and workshops. Can you hear me now? Can everybody hear me now? Now we're going to talk about continuous learning. Continuous learning is known as lifelong learning because it is the learning that you have to keep doing through your life. You don't say because, oh, I finished university now, or I finished college, or I finished my master's, I'm through with learning. No, you are constantly learning. The definition of continuous learning is the ongoing and a very important word, voluntary. You are not being forced. You are doing it willingly because you want to know. You want to gain more knowledge. You want to understand why things happen. You want to know why the naira is now 220 against the dollar, whereas some weeks ago it was 160 naira. So you want to know either for personal reasons or for professional reasons. Learning for its sake can be rewarding. It boosts our confidence, makes us less risk averse, and is more adaptable to change. It enables us to achieve a more satisfactory personal life, and it challenges our rules and beliefs. You know, sometimes because of our value system or the way we brought up, we have certain beliefs. You know, we believe that maybe certain things happen, if you do this, it's going to turn out this way. And then you read books or you interact with people and you find that what you were told or what you know is wrong and change your views. So this is just a comment. I say value your listening and reading time at roughly 10 times your talking time. This will assure you that you are a cause of continuous learning and self-empowerment. You will find that if you are a very good listener, you learn more. You know, in the even in the Bible, sometimes they tell you that when somebody slaps you, you turn the other cheek. Sometimes if you're even in situations where people are arguing with you, and you know their argument is fruitless and you want to say something, it is better for you to keep quiet. When you are quiet, you can listen, you can not be judgmental, and you can now understand, not that you agree with the other person's point of view, but you can understand where they are coming from. That is why I say value your listening and reading time more than your talking time. Personal development. Up here I've put some questions that you need to ask yourself before you can develop personally. What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your passions? Personal development is a process by which you assess your skills and qualifications, consider your aims and goals in order to realize and maximize your potential. Here are different aspects of personal development, of self-development. It includes activities which improve awareness, identify and develop your talent, build human capital, and facilitate employability. It enhances your quality of life and contributes to the realization of goals and aspirations. When I say personal development, it is developing yourself. If you learn certain skills, not by being taught in school, if you learn them for yourself for your own sake, you become a better person. I'm going next to show you a picture. And what am I going to say? I'm going to say that why should you develop your personal skills? As I said, increase your knowledge of a particular subject, Bible study. When you study the Bible, you're not studying it for somebody else, you're studying it for yourself. You're studying it because you want to have a better knowledge of the Bible, you want to be a better Christian, you want to have Christian fellowship with your colleagues and understand, and maybe even evangelize. Okay? Sometimes because you want to increase your knowledge of your hobby. I mean, Dr. Robert told you how he baked his first cake. Baking was his hobby, and how he's polished himself, and now he's a super baker. We all buy our cakes from him, and he has a little cafe in Kenya where we go to have tea and coffee and eat biscuits and eat his cakes. I've been eating his cakes for at least 20 years. Ever since my eldest child is 25, and since he was about 5, I was buying my cakes from Dr. Robert. Okay? You want to develop a new skill that will in some way enhance your life. Maybe making a dress. I hate dressmaking. But so you feel that, okay, maybe you're unemployed, but you want to make a little income. You feel that if you study dressmaking or sharpen your skills, you'll be able to make clothes for your friends and relatives and have some money. You develop your transferable skills that will some way enhance your employability. I'm going to dwell a bit more on transferable skills later. These are skills that belong to you and nobody else. Nobody can take them away from you. And they're skills that it's not that you are taught, you just learn every day from things that are happening around you. But they are very important skills if you are in the job market and you want to go for a job. You want to research a medical condition. Maybe you've heard that, oh, somebody has hepatitis. You want to know what is hepatitis, what causes hepatitis. Oh, Ebola. Let's use Ebola. Ebola came, to Nigeria last year. I, as a person, was aware of Ebola in the late 80s when it erupted in the Republic of Congo. I read a book, I can't remember the author now, and in it he talked about Ebola. And as far as I was concerned, Ebola was probably caused by the Americans. Maybe they were doing some tests in the Congo forest, and this virus manifested. I also heard about it when it started off in Guinea, but in my mind it never came here. I've read widely about it. I know it's a contact disease, but I became really interested when it arrived on the shores of Nigeria. So much so that I read so much about it, got so much involved, that I ended up being the secretary of the Ebola Containment Trust Fund, educating people about Ebola, telling people what they should do, telling people what they should not do. So that is research and medical education. And then learn more about the culture and history of your country or a travel destination. As you see me, I'm Nigerian, but I'm not going to say I'm Yoruba. I was born in Lagos. My mother is a full-blooded Ghanaian. My father is half Scottish, quarter Togolese, a little bit of Ghanaian, and a little bit of Nigerian. So I am Nigerian. I call myself a Lagosian. I was born, bred, and buttered in Lagos, and then I went to school in England. When I wanted to do my youth service corps, the happening thing is that everybody wants to do their youth service corps in Lagos. Can you believe that I threw myself into Kaduna? I actually went to the youth corps office and told them I wanted to go to Kaduna. Nothing was happening at home, not that they were driving me away. I just wanted to go to another part of Nigeria, live with them, and learn about them for my own personal reasons. That's personal development. Okay, I talked to you about transferable skills. These are skills and abilities that are relevant and helpful across different areas of life, socially, professionally, and at college. They are portable skills, that means you can transfer them from one job to another. Employers often look for people who can demonstrate a good set of transferable skills when applying for jobs, and highlight the ones that are relevant to the job being applied for in your application letter or CV. Only emphasize skills you can demonstrate having in order to minimize the perceived risk of employing you. In other words, sell yourself and show your potential. Now, these are some of the transferable skills. Teamwork. Work effectively in a group or a team to achieve goals. Think about examples of where you've worked with people in a group. You could have worked with people in a group at church, maybe to organize a church event. You could have worked with people in a group at university to organize some event at university. You could have worked with people in a group at school, maybe you were in the debating society, or you went for quizzes for your school. So this shows that you are good at teamwork. So when you're writing your CV, say, when it says skills you have, say teamwork. Okay? Then leadership. Not every job requires that you be a leader, but it is good that you show leadership skills, that you can organize, you can delegate, you can direct, and that you have good interpersonal skills. You can work with people from different walks of life. Okay? And that you don't mind asking for help when it is needed. Personal motivation, organization, and time management. Manage and prioritize your workload and time effectively. Okay? I've told you that it's very important to listen. Are you a good listener? Listening skills are very important. Written communication. Write accurately, clearly, concisely, and in a variety of styles. Many people claim to have good written communication skills. As a former banker, I say zilch. There were many a time I would ask my staff to write letters, and I would end up writing the letters for them. So if you know that your grammar isn't good, endeavor to go to some lessons or have some coaching to be able to have good written communication skills. If you know you have problems with speech, or you get frightened when you have to speak in front of a number of people, like I personally, before I come, I can talk when I see people, but before I come, my hands are shaking. I have to say deep breath. I have to tell myself that Jesus is going to be all right. So, and then, with regard to written skills, if you've written things at school, essays, reports, dissertations, these all demonstrate that you have good written skills. Research and analytical skills, this shows your ability to research, analyze, and critically evaluate information. Numeracy skills, know how to add, multiply, divide, and then if you are probably in accounting that you can do, you have some accounting skills. Personal development, you know what is wrong, what your aims are, where you want to go to, and what you need to do to get there. Information technology. Don't just think that, I can do Word and Excel, the basic ones. You might be going for a job in a bank and you have to know the importance of inputting information into the computer, that you are not afraid to use unknown software when it comes, that you are willing to learn and use the software and apply it effectively. So this is just a picture of someone I feel at his brain, thinking about his personal development, and how he's asked questions, he's discovered, he thought about his goals, and he's accomplishing them. Professional development. Now, I've told you that I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm going to talk about personal development. We just finished about personal development. I'm a lawyer by profession. That means I read and read. I am not supposed to be very good at maths, but I worked in a bank and I did not work in the legal department. In fact, the only time I ever spent in the legal department was 6 months, about 10 years ago, when the company secretary resigned and I just had to supervise them. I worked in call banking, which meant that I was not afraid of debits and credits. I had developed my numeracy and accounting skills. I had developed myself. I didn't go to school to learn those things. I developed myself to do that. As I've also told you, I am a lawyer and I became a banker, and I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid to take the challenge of being a banker, and I did everything within my power to be a better banker. Even in banking, I could have stayed in marketing, or I could have been a marketing person, and all I had to concern myself was marketing, but I worked in operations for 20 years. Then they decided that I'd been in operations for too long, so they made me go to a big department called transaction development, and it was more of like a business development department, a bit of operations, a bit of marketing. After a year there, I went to become the head of private banking, which was a purely marketing function. I wasn't afraid. I excelled there, and then they removed me. And I started getting very upset. I said, why is it me that always be moved here, there, everywhere? And somebody told me that, Ayaba, that's because you don't mind taking challenges. From there, they moved me to e-banking. That is the banking to do with all those little cards that you have, your debit card and things like ATM machines. And in fact, I was depressed. Immediately they told me I was going there. I went on holiday for 3 weeks. And I did it. I went to the sunny climes of Barbados because I just wanted to be far away from everybody, and I came back. When I came back, I was talking to my friend, and I was complaining that, can you imagine? They have sent me to e-banking. What do I know about e-banking? And you know what she said to me? She said, Ayaba, but you like challenges. Don't you know that e-banking is the face of the banking of the future? That's where banking is going. And she went and bought me a book on e-banking. So I sat down for 2 weeks and devoured this book from cover to cover. I called my staff. The staff of e-banking were very disillusioned because they did not have a leader that could hold them. Everybody just thought that, the dregs of the bank were pushed to e-banking. So I called them. I said, no. They keep dumping jobs on us. We are not going to allow them to do so. We are going to streamline our work. I've read what we are supposed to do, and we are not going to do this, and we are not going to do that. And then we decided to send the whole bank a newsletter as to what our roles and functions in the bank were. Suddenly, people said, e-banking, things are happening there. Suddenly, everybody wanted to come to work in e-banking, and we said, no, we don't need you. What I'm trying to tell you is that I made an effort to develop myself personally, and I feel that you too, whatever you want to do, you can develop yourselves and be what you want to be. Professional development. Sometimes when we, in our personal development, we want to develop professionally in the jobs we are doing. Some of you are employees in banks, insurance companies, telephone, Glow, Etisalat, information technology companies, and you want to be better. Do not wait for your office to send you on a training course. Make an effort yourself personally to be better, because when you do that, you become indispensable. Continuous learning is a minimum requirement for success in any field. Continuous professional development, I've said it here. If you're unemployed, use your time wisely. Learning something new can pay off with new opportunities which might not have been there or otherwise available. If employed, take advantage of all the learning opportunities, training, coaching, mentoring, both internally, that is in your office, and externally, that is from other places. Work in some professions like in law, doctors, accounting, they have what they call continuing professional development. It is part of their association, part of the rules. But if you wish to continue as an accountant, you have to take these exams, or modules, and then prove to them you get certain hours ahead of you. You will become more skilled and you become a more skilled and indispensable staff to your current and future employers. The rewards of continuous professional development: personal satisfaction, staying abreast of the competition. That means if you have learned that, that if you do these things this way, you will, this is the current way they are doing things, and everybody's still doing them the old way, you are in a better position than they are. You keep pace with current standards. You're up to date with trends, advances, and changes recurring in your profession. It ensures that you maintain and enhance the knowledge and skills you need to deliver a professional service to your customers, clients, and the community. It enables you to contribute effectively to your team. Rewards. As I've told you that learning has its rewards. The rewards of continuous professional development. It gives you an opportunity to specialize. So if you're a doctor, you can now do obs and gynae, ear, nose, and throat, plastic surgery, you can oncology, different things you specialize. It assists you to advance in your career and move into new positions where you can lead, manage, influence, coach, and mentor others. You're an asset to your employers, customers, and clients. It opens you up to new possibilities, new knowledge, and new skill areas, flexibility, and opportunity to change jobs. Now, in his book, Master It Faster, Colin Rose uses the mnemonic MASTER to describe the 6 stages he believes are key to becoming an effective learner. These stages can be applied to any type of learning, either formal or informal. So, there you have it, master. Motivation. I said it before, you must be self-motivated. Remember when we first started and we were describing professional development, we said something about it being voluntary. If you are expecting that, what they say is, it's not my father's business. It's not a case of whether it's not your father's business. It is you. Whether it is your father's business or not, you must make the effort to be a better person, a better doctor, a better baker, a better dress designer, a better whatever you want to do. Okay? So master your learning. Acquire all the relevant and meaningful information and develop the new knowledge and skill. Effective learning requires that you acquire information through reading, listening, observing, practicing, experimenting, and experience. Information is all around you. Search. Now, if everything is given to you on a platter of gold, do you realize that sometimes you don't remember it? But when you read it yourself, you think about it, you write it. Like when I was coming to this to do this talk, I didn't just make this presentation. I actually wrote my presentation longhand, and then I reduced it to something that I could come and give to you within 30 minutes. So that for me, doing it like that makes it easier for me to be able to come and talk to you instead of just reading everything verbatim. Okay? So, search. Trigger. There are things you need to do to trigger your recollection of events. It may be that like me taking notes. It may be continuous, repeatedly watching things for you to learn. And okay. Then examine. Examine your knowledge to help reinforce it in your mind, whatever you have learned. Reflect. Think about what you have learned, how you thought about it before you learned about it, and the way you think about it after. Learn from your successes and mistakes, and always try to remain positive. Learning gives you options. Need to success. If you want to change your career path, as I said before, due to the rapidly changing job market, it has made spending time developing expertise more common now. So you find many people now, like Dr. Roberts, he was a doctor, but he found it better to become a baker, and he developed himself. Relying that, I'm a banker, and I'm always going to be a banker, doesn't work these days. You can wake up one morning and you've been sacked. So if you've got other skills, you'll be able to cope. You need to be flexible and adaptive. More people are turning their hobbies into a business plan. Continually following one's passion can enable you get paid for what you love doing and allow you to develop other skills. Now, what I've done, these are just a few quotes to help you on your way. Learning never ends. I am still learning. Michelangelo at age 87. The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it away from you. Thank you. Okay. In case you want, do you have any questions?
What kind of VI clapping was that? Do you have any questions? No questions? No. I'm going to ask a question, right? You know, you've talked about yourself, and basically you've changed careers very many times, even though it was all in banking, right? If I want to change career, and you've said how you studied for this or you learned that, okay, so there was a guy there saying there was a guy who had asked a question before to say that he likes mass communication, but he studied, I don't know what it is he studied, right? I want to, yours was in banking, everything in banking. What if I actually want to change completely? What do? I want to change completely. What kind of education? Because you've taken it from an angle of education, which is the truth. You can't become a dressmaker if you don't know how to make a dress, no matter how much passion you have for it. So give me a step-by-step, two or three steps.
Well, right? You see, also I have to say that it depends on when you want to change your career, what you want to change it to. Like this gentleman that wants to go into mass communication, what exactly does he want to do? Does he want to be a journalist in a newspaper?
I don't know what exactly he wants to do.
Because if it's something that he wishes to be a journalist in, he's got to have writing skills. Maybe he should start by writing he can start writing his own blog, on the internet, start writing articles and sending to newspapers and stuff, so some of the people who are working in mass communication didn't study mass communication at the university. Find out what it entails. Find out what you need to do. Do you need to have to go to back to formal education to be able to work in that industry, or can you do it by going to short courses here and there? I'll give you an example. Somebody recommended to me that I should become an arbitrator. An arbitrator is an arm of law, but it is not something that I can just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to be an arbitrator. I don't have to go to school, but I will have to buy the books on arbitration, register with the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, get their syllabus, study, take their exams, be inducted before I can become an arbitrator. I do not think that in mass communication you need this, but I think you need, I don't know much about the subject, so I can't claim to give you adequate direction, but you need to find out more and to find out which particular sphere of mass communication you wanted to go into. It may require that you have to go and do some form of formal education, or you may not have to. Maybe then you have to start looking for opportunities into how you can get into newspapers, or how you can get into the TV, or how you can get into radio.
Thank you so much, Mark, for that presentation, and good afternoon to everyone. From what she has just said now, it's more like the question she actually put to you. And from what you just said now, I think I have a clear understanding of what I've been asked. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause again.